This is Rubens, the principal of the Repairer of the Breaches School. So, Repairer of the Breaches School is a school of 180 kids, 8 teachers, and 8 classes. So we have kindergarten 1, 2, 3rd, and then we have grade 1, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, and 5th grade. So Repair of the Breaches School is a school in Casal. So in Casal, Casal is a town, is a city of about 37 little villages, little town, and then there are about 47,000 people lives in Casal. It's kind of spread out, and we are all together about 37 localities, and 47,000 people live in Casal. So Casal is I would say is a very nice village. So there is water and trees. It's really nice village, but there were a very big problem in Casal since I was like 9 or 10. I've been like thinking about this problem and how I can solve this problem. And I'm telling you, it was not very easy because that was education problem, which is a very big problem. What is it exactly? In Casal, you can see the families. You can see a small house, and there is about 10 people living in it. So each family have about like 10 or 12 kids living in it, and then it's really hard for all of these kids to go to school, because to go to school, what they would need firstly school supplies. They would need the tuition, so they would have to pay the tuition, and they would need to buy the uniform, and they would need to buy shoes and all of that, and which is something that are very expensive, especially school supplies. So to get school supplies, they have to get a motor to go to Cabaret, so which is something they would have about to pay about $40 to pay a motor to go to Cabaret, and they would have to buy the school supplies. So when I say school supplies, each of the kids would have to have about 14 books. Last year was 12 books. This year it's about 14 books. And then after the 14 books, they would have to they would have to buy the uniforms. They would have to pay a seamstress to pay the uniforms, and every month they would have to pay the school. So, or they can just pay at one time, which is about we have some school that is about $1,200. We have some school that are $800. We have another one that is $1,000, and there is one which is the the most expensive is $1,500 in Casal, which is yeah, all of the schools are in Casal and very expensive. And then the problem is, you can a lot of parents, they can't even afford the uniforms or the school supplies, and then they will have to give that money so that their kids can go to school. And sometimes if they doesn't pay that money, you can see in the middle of the year, like in December, they send their kids home, and then or January they send their kids home, and then these kids stay home and miss the school year because their parents can't pay to go to school. So, and then the biggest problem again, even though some of them do their best to give some money, and then you still have a lot more that still can't pay it. And then now, if the teacher doesn't get paid in the end of the month, and you know the teachers, you can see in the middle of the year, the teachers just keep coming. Stop coming. They don't go to teach. So when the kids go to school, they don't have teachers, so they have to go back home. And after like a week like that, so they find out they have to stay because they have no teachers. So anyway, they stop going to school, and then they miss the year. So I've been praying about it for like years, and then couldn't really find the solution because it was not something easy in Casal to just open a school, be able to pay the teachers, be able to get money from the parents or school tuition from them to pay the teachers every month. This is something I didn't want to do. I didn't want to just start a school with the school tuition to pay the teachers, because this is something that would be very difficult. So I came up with the idea to open Repair of the Breaches School. We started with the philosophy of like pay the teacher, be able to pay the teacher every month, and have about each class 25 kids get education. So pay the teachers every month, and about 25 kids in each class get education. So we started with about 7 classes. That means 7 teachers. So we started with the kindergarten, and then grade 1 to 4th grade last year. And then this year we add one more class. But in Casal, I'm telling you, even though we started and we were able to pay the teachers every month so they could still be here and the kids is having a better education, it's tough because the kids wake up in the morning, they doesn't eat anything from the morning, early in the morning till until night. And then when they come to school, they didn't eat in the morning. They come to school about 7:30 to 1, and you can imagine hungry. So it's really hard, it's really tough for them to study, to memorize their lessons because they're hungry. We started thinking about how we can help to solve that big problem, which is something we think that it's a major problem, because not only the kids, when we talk about that, what we're talking about the 14 employees that we have here, the teacher as well, because I was a teacher for about 4 years. So when I don't eat anything at home and go teach, it wasn't easy for me to keep going. It's tough because as a teacher to talk and you hungry, so it's tough. So how about the kids? They're hungry. They doesn't pay attention. Sometimes you see them sleeping because they're hungry. So now we came up with the project, with this idea, we find a way to give them a lunch per day, which is amazing. I don't know how to explain that. This is the only meal they have every day, and then when they go back home, they already have something in their belly. They spend a better day at school. You can see them very happy playing on the break time because they have something in their belly. And then when they go back home, they can still do their homework because they ate something, and the parents doesn't have to worry about what they're gonna give the kids to eat because they know their kids have something in school to eat. So this is a very big deal, and this is really important for school. So, and this is something we want to keep going, because if we're not, it's going to be very sad. This is something we would like to keep going so we can always be able to provide that meal for these precious kids of Casal. So the education we're doing here in Casal, especially the education we're doing here is based on about 5 essential areas of the kids' personality. What are they? We do the physical education, which is, you can't do education without that. We do physical education. We do civic and moral education. We do civic and moral education. We do interlingual education, and we do religious education here in our education. This is what we're doing. We do these 5 areas of education, the 5 essential points that we're doing here, we teach at school. These 5 that I'm telling you. The religious one is every morning, exactly every morning, 7:30, we get here with the staff to pray, to do devotion, because we do believe that we can do it without God, and we know it's impossible to do what we are doing here in Casal without God, because it would be impossible. And then that's why we get here every morning to pray. What we pray about is we pray for the kids, we pray for the parents, and we pray for other schools that is in Casal and Haiti, so that God can really help them to really keep going, so we can have a better generation in 5 more years, in 10 more years, in about 20 more years. Because in Haiti now, even though the kids go to school, you still see that some bad things are going in Haiti. So we can see, okay, if we really do a Christ-centered education here in Casal, maybe we know that with God, nothing is impossible. In 10 more years or 15 more years, we can have a better generation. So that's firstly trust in God and believe in God, and then secondly, they will well educated so they can have a better living in 5 more years. So like their parents didn't go to school, so and had a lot of kids, about 10 15 kids, so they will know they should they shouldn't have like that many kids, so they can't take care of them. So they will at least do like 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So they will do, kids that, they will have kids that they can take care of them, so they can give them education, because without education it's tough. It's tough, because we know that education is a powerful asset for our country. So yeah, that's what we do for the religious education. And then what we do, we teach the kids about how to protect the environment. Haiti is it's really dirty in all of the places, so we teach them how to not to dirty their environment, because if they do, maybe in the long way, so it will be bad for them. So we teach them how to really take care of their environment. So it's really Isaiah 50 verse 12, where we have this verse, repairer of the British School. This is where that come from. It's we felt like all of this problem that I'm talking about now, we feel like these are a lot of breaches that was supposed to be repaired. You see what I mean? So this is why we came up with the repair of the breaches, so we can really repair these kids' life, because we feel like they really need to be fixed. This problem really needs to be fixed, and we know it's not just in 1 year we're gonna fix it. We believe too it's not only in 2 years we're gonna fix it, because we know United States, Perry, France, Canada wasn't built in a day. It's a process. You see what I mean? You really have to be patient. So we know it's not in 1 year, but we know it's a process. So we'll get it. We will really repair all of these breaches. So that's repair of the British School. Come and see it, see what's going on here, and I hope you all are praying about it, so that God can really do His will in His school. So that's all I had to say. Thank you very much. All right, God bless y'all.